Well, hello again everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a Nissan Sentra that is plagued with tons of electrical issues. Let me show you what I found. So the lady that brought me this car has had all kind of work done to it. Alternator went out at one time, battery went out, and that was probably because of the alternator wasn't put out like it's supposed to, but regardless, she had to put a new battery in it, put a new alternator in it. Then it started having other problems. Started having air conditioning issues. Started having all kind of different electrical issues happening here and there. It got where it would shift funny sometimes. All these things kept happening. Well, the problem is this poor lady has been talked into putting all kinds of money into this car. New battery, new radiator, all new air conditioning system, new alternator, at least one new coil. They thought that coil was bad, and when I had the car, it had a misfire on the same cylinder, so I swapped it over to another cylinder. It was actually cylinder 4. They put a new coil pack on it. When I had the car, it still had the same code. So I went ahead and swapped 4 and 1 and reset the codes, drove it for a little while. It drove horrible. Misfire moved from 4 to 3. And I know I put them in the right spot, but that tells me that it's not a true misfire as in a spark plug coil or anything like that. That it's just an overall electrical anomaly. Well, then we turn around and come back and the car just continually loses power. And if you've ever driven a car that's had a bad alternator, you know what that feels like. It feels like just everything just starts slowly. The engine slows down, slows down, slows down. Your lights start to go a little bit dim. Windshield wipers slow down a little bit. So I knew the alternator wasn't putting out. Got it back home, tested the alternator. If you turn the car off, let it sit for a little while, crank it back up, alternator puts out great power. We're talking 14.5 volts, 14.2, puts out plenty of power to deal with all of the electronics that the car has. But then the alternator was shut off. Now when it was shut off, of course, you can't just go off of that. You can't really test anything else because the sensors don't have the power they need. There's all kind of other issues happening. You just gotta quit testing at that time. Even when the alternator was putting out at certain times, the air conditioner compressor, sometimes it came on, sometimes it didn't. I'm thinking, well, if all that stuff is brand new, it should be working perfect. So then I decided to go back to the basics, figure out what is going on, make sure that the battery is good, make sure that the alternator is good, get those two things tested, pull them out of the car because I want to eliminate anything with the car. They're good, then I know it's going to be something in the car. Now, yes, it did seem like a short somewhere. So myself and my daughter, we went all through the car looking for short, looking for bad grounds, looking for broken wires, looking for all types of things. Couldn't see anything in the engine compartment. We didn't take the interior completely apart, but we checked all that kind of stuff. We checked for a parasitic load on the car somewhere with the engine off, put a multimeter in series and kind of see it didn't have any parasitic load. We also checked for the resistance from the wires going from the alternator to the battery down to the starter, all the big electrical things. We tried all those different things and everything came up okay until I finally took the alternator out and realized what the problem is. So this lady had all this work done to this car, and I think it goes back to the original mechanic. Whenever she had a bad alternator, and it probably was bad, when he replaced the alternator, I think he pinched this wire and it caused all these other issues and caused this poor lady all this more money. If you look down here, as you know, the alternator would be here. This here is the tensioner for the belt. So when you put your alternator in, put it in place, you got 2 mount bolts down there, one mount bolt up here. You put the belt on, this is loose. You tighten up this big bolt and it pulls this idler pulley this direction, which tightens up the belt. Well, if you look right there, you can see the compressor power wire actually is for the clutch, but it's still a power wire, is pinched in where this tensioner is. And it's obvious there was a problem there before because it's wrapped up. Now I guarantee you this is grounding out into this bracket, causing all these issues. So some people may say, oh man, that stupid mechanic, he messed up before, this and that, whatever. You know what? It could have been a great mechanic. He just made a mistake. And if you work on cars, anything mechanical long enough, you're gonna break something, you're gonna mess something up. You're even gonna do something that you know is wrong and you try to cut corners, it ends up being wrong, and then you mess something up. Now, the bad thing is when you don't admit it and then you don't fix it. Now this mechanic may not have known he did that. I've definitely learned over the years to be easy on other mechanics because I'm gonna end up doing something wrong myself and having to eat crow, whatever you want to call it. But I'm hard on mechanics that charge somebody tons of money for a lot of extra work that does not need to be done on a car. Due diligence is what most people need to try to figure out what's wrong with their car. If you have a continual problem with your car, especially electrical, and you keep having a mechanic that all he wants to do is change this, change that, and change all these parts, what that is, that's an easy way to get you in, get you out, get some money out of you without actually trying to troubleshoot the problem. Pretty difficult to find a mechanic that actually will take the time to look through issues like this and actually find pinched wire or short. That's something that you can do also. Anybody can open their hood and just look around, check wires and things like that. So what I should have done from the very beginning is think back. What was the first thing she had done? That was the alternator was changed. Maybe should have went ahead and pulled the alternator out to get it tested. I don't know, but doesn't matter. I spent many hours on this thing. I'm so happy that I found something like that, but I'm still gonna get the battery and the alternator tested since I have it all out. I'm gonna fix this wire. If they say those two things are good, put them back in the car, see how it runs. Now another thing that this car owner did that really helped me out was she kept every bit of her service records from all the way back to 2014 when she's had things done with this car. But even here recently, I mean, this thing had a lot of work done just last month, and that helped me kind of put a case together to see what's happening, what's going on. So keep all your service records, not necessarily to blame people for doing something wrong, but it could be helpful for warranty information. But also, if you get fed up with a shop and you want to try another mechanic, make sure to issue those things to a mechanic so that he can look at it and kind of put together a case and kind of see what happened, kind of give him a little bit of a trail to go down. Now after talking with my buddies at O'Reilly, they tested the battery and the alternator. The battery is good, alternator is bad, which I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure that having that short grounded the alternator out. So now it's Sunday, so we can't talk to the shop today, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take her paperwork, I'm going to take the alternator back up to the shop and see if she has any type of warranty, see if we can get them to help her out. So now I fixed the wire and rerouted it to a better spot, obviously, to where if another alternator change has to happen, it won't get caught up in here. Wrapped it up real good, put a bunch of shielding around it. Now I'm going to put a new alternator in. Now something you want to look for when you go to put this in is a lot of times these alternators are going to have a bushing like this right here, and if you try to put it in and this bushing is pushed in this way, it's going to seem like you don't even have the right alternator. It won't even fit. So what you want to do is take some channel locks, put it on here, put it on the other side of the frame, and mash this bushing in just like you see that one's flush. That way you can get it in. Then when you put your bolt in, the bolt will actually push the bushing into place and fit snugly onto the bracket. Let's see if we can get the alternator down in there. After pushing that bushing back like you're supposed to, alternator falls right in. Now another tip, at least on this car, is you see that mount bolt all the way down there. This one actually has 3 bolts. One at the top, 2 at the bottom. You got one on the belt side, one on the exhaust manifold side. This one's kind of hard to see, kind of hard to get to, especially with the heat shield on. You're going to want to put that bolt in place, kind of put it partially into the bracket of the alternator, put it all down there together, and then you're going to want to just search for the hole by pushing the bolt that way, sliding the alternator up and down the bracket, and you can feel it go in and then put it on in. Alright, so I went in and charged the battery up while I was changing the alternator so that you could have a fresh battery. I'm going to start it up, check and make sure the alternator is working like it's supposed to before I put the heat shield and everything else back together. Not going to run it long, just do a first crank up, see how it works. So the alternator was the fix, put a full load on it. I let it sit for a long time and run just like it did before, and usually after about 5-10 minutes the alternator would switch off. Of course, it'd be on battery power, everything would go crazy. So the alternator fixed this, and that's something you gotta look at. Even if your alternator has been changed not even a year ago, could be a bad alternator, or it could have been that whoever installed it pinched a wire, or anything like that can cause it. But this one's fixed, all the electrical gremlins are gone, and so now we're good to go. We hope y'all have a great day.